start with the AP bilateral ribs. (14 by 17, lengthwise. You don't really have much margin for error, so I'm okay if we don't collimate on that one.
You gotta go in more. Right there.
Okay.
Is this bilateral, like,
This is
upper or
bilateral
lower? Is it
upper
just-
ribs.
Okay.
All right. So the top of your IR should be 1.5 to 2 inches.
You can go over here if you want. You're good.
I don't want to hit his pen while he's writing.
Sorry.
Okay. 1.5 to 2 inches above the level of the shoulder. Centered down the mid-sagittal plane. So again, much like the other ones, I will feel for the xiphoid process and use that. Don't use the seam of the clothes, just actually palpate some body part and center that way. Okay?
What was their techniques? You know?
70 and 10.
This is in here, 70 and 10, I think. So you put your marker within the light field.
You said leave the collimation open?
14 by 17.
Okay? All right, for the lower, I know it says crosswise. We'll keep it lengthwise so you don't have to turn the thing. I don't want you to drop my plate. So for the bilateral lower ribs, okay, put the bottom of the IR about 1/2 inch below the level of the crest. And the only reason for that is so that I can see a little, like the very tops of the crest on the bottom of your film.
1/2 inch? What did you say?
Half an inch below the level of the crest. Okay, and then if you notice too, I moved my marker down to the bottom. The mid-sagittal plane is still centered. Right, here's the xiphoid. Here's the CR.
Wouldn't you want the marker up top since you're getting the bottom ribs?
It's kind of like when you shoot your KUVs and you do an upper and a lower. For the upper, you put them up on top. For the lower, you put them down on the bottom. As long as you put them down down below the bottom, that's where the crest is. There's no rib right there.
Okay.
But I understand what you're saying.
So the bottom of the light has to be at the crest, or you said below the crest?
Half inch below the crest.
Okay.
And so the CR's, it's not really entering the xiphoid anymore, right?
It's just centering
Wherever.
wherever. A proper term would probably be perpendicular to the center of the IR.
Because as long as your light feels where it needs to be, you're entering where you need to enter.
Okay, so that is the AP upper and the AP lower ribs. Cool. All right, when you guys go to your unilaterals, I would drop your collimation down to between 11 and 12.
11 or 12, 14 by, or 17 by
17 by 12. Why you gotta hit me? He's filming it.
17 by 12. Lengthwise?
Lengthwise. Right. No, 17 by 12, not 17 by 12. So same, don't write me, I don't mess it. Okay, so same thing, you want light field 1.5 to 2 inches above the level of the shoulder. And then you're gonna center midway between the mid-sagittal plane and the lateral part of the body. So right about here. Unilateral ribs. What you want to make sure when you shoot these is that you want to make sure that you get the spine so that you see the costotransverse articulation.
Nipple line, right?
Oh, I don't know.
So between MSP and lateral border?
So between here and here. Okay, the other way to center for this, which is not what's in the book, is that if you just put a little bit of light between the shadow and the outside border of your film, you'll always get it.
If you put a little bit of light what?
Yeah, because here's where the ribs end, no matter what,
Yeah.
right? Here's where your film ends, here, right? So if you just center it in a way that
You have some light.
you have some light there, you'll always be sure to get the spine. Because sometimes when you center this way, depending on the patient's body habitus, you might miss the spine. So that means you miss the posterior part of the ribs,
Okay.
right?
So keep some light
Keep some light.
on the edge of the body.
Okay?
NSP and then the lateral wall.
Mm-hmm. Right, so this is an AP right upper ribs.
Unilateral upper?
Mm-hmm.
Upper, doesn't matter right or left,
Upper,
right?
yeah, in this case, I positioned it right. And my marker would be here. Okay? Alright, for the lower ribs, you're gonna cut it down to 10 by 10. When you're shooting CR in the other room, you're gonna shoot on a 10 by 12 crosswise. Okay, but you'll also collimate to 10 by 10.
So, what'd you say? Keep it up,
I've made it 10 by 10.
10 by 10?
Mhm.
Lengthwise?
Like, well, crosswise. I mean, the collimation is a square, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, yeah.
But when you
Right.
position in there, they're gonna be putting it in crosswise. Okay, so for this one, I want you to go about 1.5 to 2 inches above the level of the crest for the bottom of the IR.
It wouldn't matter though.
Wait, is this lower ribs?
This is the lower rib.
It wouldn't matter if you went crosswise in that room, right? Because it's still square.
It's still square, but like when you're at the hospital,
Uh-huh.
again, depending on the facility, a lot of the times they'll put it crosswise and then they don't like you to column
What were
it.
we saying? Inch and a half? Or
1.5 to 2 inches above the level of the crest for the bottom of the IR.
above the crest?
Oh, above the crest.
Above. So with the AP bilateral lower ribs, I want to see a little bit of the crests. With the lower ribs unilateral, I don't want to see it. Because if I see a little bit of the crest, that means I'm not seeing enough of like T8 and T9. I mean rib 8 and rib 9.
So you don't wanna see no crest?
I should not see any crest.
You see, there's a fucking.
Yeah.
You said 1.5 to 2 inches above the
Above
crest,
the
right?
level of the crest, yeah.
If I see any crest, you're gonna die.
You're not gonna die. You'll lose points. Okay. That is the AP lower ribs. Questions, concerns?
Lower ribs, AP.
No. All right.
You want breathing instructions, right?
I would. Well, yes, I would like to hear them. It's very important. Okay. For the obliques, 45 degrees. Ow, that's my head.
Watch the flow.
45 degrees. You're gonna keep your collimation at, what did I say, 17 by 12?
Lengthwise?
Likewise.
17 by 12.